This is installment number 4, our 4th interview for Midweek Maelstrom. Midweek Music Maelstrom. I can't even say the name of my own show. What am I even doing? And would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Carl, and I go by the stage name Mantra. Part of a grunge, alternative, pop punk, new wave of music.
Yeah, I've listened to your stuff, and it's definitely interesting. So I follow you on Spotify now, and you have a new single, Take It All Away.
Yep, just released on November 5th. Debut.
Wow. So what projects have you had prior to this?
It started back in I had bands in high school and stuff. But like in 2012, I started this band called Hollywood Vampires, and we played shows for about a year and a half, and then got contacted by Alice Cooper and his people, Shep Gordon, his longtime manager, and Bob Ezrin, who worked with like Deftones and Pink Floyd and Kiss and some other. He almost broke up Kiss. He's that guy. But we worked out a deal with them, and that launched us into my next band, Death of the Party, and then we toured the Midwest, sold a few albums, and that life happened, so we sort of parted ways. So I was like, I'm just going to do this myself, and here I am.
So I did hear the Coma White cover, Death of the Party. I loved it. Do you think that you kind of wanted to go with a little bit of a different sound with Mantra?
I don't know. I started getting more inspiration from the stuff that I listened to in like high school. Like there's like in 2020 there was this huge like revival of like pop punk and stuff like that, and that's sort of like what I listened to in high school was like more rock alternative stuff. Like I'd listen to like Blink and like Eve Six, Unwritten Law, and stuff like that. I mean, I was a huge like Marilyn Manson fan and like Korn and all that kind of stuff. That sort of like was more what we did in like Death of the Party and stuff like that. Was like the heavier stuff, but like I don't know, just sort of like my real roots, like my real young years is like what's been inspiring me now.
Oh, wow. So would you say that the kind of music that you make is mostly what you listen to?
Right now, actually, yeah. I listen to a lot of 90s stuff. Like that's pretty much my everyday.
That was the best decade.
Yeah,
Easily.
that easily. That and the early 2000s, like before 2004, like from like 94 to 2004, that era of music is just that's my everyday.
So when did Mantra first start?
I thought it up towards the end of Death of the Party because we were going to transition in this, like have like a side project called Mantra, and we did like one collaboration. We did a cover of Nine Inch Nails, Head Like a Hole, and we put that up on YouTube, but we didn't promote it or anything like that, so it just sort of sat there. And then, like I said, life had happened, and we just all sort of like we're doing our own thing. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to take Mantra and roll with it and see what happens. And
So is the cover still on YouTube?
yeah, yep.
I'm definitely going to check it out after this video. So if other people want to see more of your stuff, where can they go?
Oh man, literally everywhere. I mean, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, literally everywhere and anywhere. You can go to my link to, which is lnk.to/take it all away to hear the debut single. And it'll take you to a few different places: Deezer, Tidal, Apple Music. Most importantly, YouTube and Spotify. I can't believe how fast my numbers are growing on those channels. It's ridiculous.
I'm excited for you. My God. So what can we expect to see from Mantra in the near future?
Oh man, well, I just started working with somebody who actually got out of the music production game, and I had no idea about that. Um, he's taking me on as his sole client right now, and we are working on a bunch of singles, a bunch of releases. Um, we're gonna be shooting videos, putting out a video for the single. No full length or anything like that or EP in the works, but
I think your mic's breaking up a little bit there.
sounds good now. I don't know.
Yep, perfect. You were saying.
I was just saying that we don't have anything like bigger than we don't have any album or EP planned or anything like that yet. But I mean, that is going to be something hopefully by spring, because he wants to help put out a music video for every song, single that we do, and then he wants me to get on the promo circuit of touring. So we'll see who I can get hooked up with from now until, well, within the next few months, figure all this stuff out. Sooner the better. But no, this is just a new development over the past, what is it, like 2 or 3 days? 2 days. Yeah. 2 days. Yeah, I didn't have any. He's somebody that I worked with in my last 2 bands, but he had gotten out of the game, and then I showed him this stuff, and he's like, let's do it.
So things are just moving really fast for you.
Yeah, yes. Like right before we spoke, I had to just track down a bunch of vocals for a bunch of different songs just to show them where I'm at with like this new stuff. Well, debut stuff still, I guess. So all I do is have the one track out. But yeah, it's exciting. I didn't think that I'd be in this position, like if at all, but at least for a year, I wouldn't have expected. So like just in a couple of weeks, it's been nuts.
Wow. So what were some of your more different music tastes growing up that maybe don't appear as an influence in the music you put out now?
I was, aside from like a grunge kid, I really was like a new metal kid too, like Korn and Slipknot and Limp Bizkit and everything like that. Um, that actually some of my lyrical content probably reflects that in some of my melodies. So I guess it's sort of like you can't really tell that that's what it is unless you like actually knew. But I guess there is some influence from like literally everything that I've listened to throughout my life. Anything that was like really close to me anyway.
All right. Do you have any like musical guilty pleasures?
Oh no, I'm not ashamed of anything. I just seen today that they did Spice Girls actually did a new lyric video for their debut song, "Wannabe." So like I'm like kind of pumped seeing what that's all about. So I'm like, are they going on tour? Like, what's happening? Like, I'll be there.
I
So,
love that. No shame, no guilt, none of it.
no, not at all.
Do you think there's a lot more pressure in the music community to have this appearance of being cool, with everyone being very sort of gatekeepy and wanting everyone to fit in, or you're not one of them?
Uh, I guess it depends on like what part of the scene or whatever you're in.
Don't mind me.
I guess it's all that was good. um, I guess with like the music I'm doing, it's a lot more lax than like say like the metalcore community or something like that. Like we were a part of that for a long time, and there's a lot of judgment like just here in Michigan. Anyways, I don't know about anywhere else, but um like the music I'm doing now though, the people that I'm starting to fit in with who are already like bigger artists, like there's no like it's like no judgment. Like they don't look at anybody like bigger, like they're bigger than me, like they'd never talk to me, or like, oh, they're too small of an artist, like I don't want to talk to them or something like that's not even a thing with these people. Like there's like Little Aaron and Lil Lotus and Smart Death, Upsal, them, like all of these new breakout artists, Tyler Posey, like people like that.
So when you decide, this is a person I'm going to work with, a producer or a band member, whatever, how do you go about determining who's worth your time?
Somebody who's going to capture exactly what I am trying to convey. I've actually worked with two other people. I didn't know what was going to be my first song that I put out. There's 3 songs that I was working on. Well, actually, there's literally like 40 some songs that I'm working on currently. Like, it's ridiculous. But the 3 that I was um, sort of not shopping around, but like just shopping to different producers and seeing how they would be with like mixing and like stuff like that. And it just, like, take it all away, turned out pretty good. But um, this new person that I have, I just know that he's going to be able to pull off exactly like we've been like mind linked through everything through all our music career together. Because yeah, we've been working with him on things since 2012 and haven't since 2017 or early 2018. And then life happened for him, and like I said, he had gotten out of the business, and somehow this changed his mind. I don't know. We'll see how it works out, but I'm very confident in his ability to capture exactly what I want.
Are there any shows planned for Mantra?
In February, here locally, I'm going to just have my debut. That's what I have planned right now, but everything's so like moving so fast right now that it's sort of up in the air. Aside from my new producer wanting to have me out on the road by spring, just whatever falls in my lap at that time, or before then, until then, I should say.
What is the coolest or weirdest experience you've ever had while performing live?
Oh, while performing live? I don't know. I've seen some quite the amount of genitalia back in the day. Um, I don't know, like,
That honestly has to be my favorite interview question. It is also what I ask my Uber drivers. First thing when I get in, what is the weirdest shit you've seen as an Uber driver? And man, they've got some stories.
I bet being an Uber driver is like just insane. Like the people, especially late night drunk rides and stuff, like the shit that they've seen.
Not
That's
to get
wild.
off topic, but someone has to know about this. This dude got in a flamingo outfit to this Uber driver's car with a pogo stick. And as he gets out and he's pogoing up the driveway to his drop-off point, the driver realizes the flamingo suit is like long johns with the butt flap, and the butt flap's down, and he was totally going commando. And that was when he decided he didn't want to Uber anymore. Like, he was done being an Uber driver because that was the shit that was getting in his car.
See, that would just, I'd probably love that. That'd be awesome. That would make me want to like pick up extra shifts or something.
That's my favorite story an Uber driver has ever told me, and I didn't believe it when he first said it. But then I'm like, it's Tampa. That could happen.
It is Florida. Anyway.
So just genitalia, that's like the stuff that you really remember?
I mean, I don't remember it vividly, but I mean,
You blocked it out.
nothing too wild, honestly. I mean, like I had issues on stage once. I have heart issues, and I ended up having heart issues, like something called SVT, where my heart starts racing like crazy and I can't stop it. That actually happened in the middle of a show once, way back in the day, and I had to play for like 20 more minutes without having like trying not to pass out. Like, it was insane. I don't know how I like survived that. Because I actually died once back in 2009 because of this.
Whoa, do tell.
It was actually when I quit drinking alcohol. I won. Okay, like, this is kind of a really random story, but
I love random stories.
I was part of this thing where like you could win this cruise, and it was sponsored by Budweiser, and like all the finalists had to go to some hotel conference place or some shit like that. I don't remember exactly, but Budweiser sponsored it, so it was free drinks. So I started drinking at like 3 p.m, and then after that was done, this whole thing, I made it to like number 2 too, by the way. And like what it was you won a cruise and then had a private performance by Dave Matthews. Like, whatever. But but then after that, I ended up going to the bar with friends, and I kept drinking. And then I went to an after party, and I kept drinking. And then about 3 a.m, I had SVT, and I couldn't get it to stop. Like, there's certain maneuvers you can do to sort of like snap your heart back in the normal rhythm, but I couldn't get it to stop. And I had a friend rush me into the hospital. They got me right back there, and then they injected me with this shot, and it's supposed to put your heart back in normal rhythm. Well, I have something called Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. It's a very rare heart condition. Actually, Marilyn Manson and the performer Meatloaf and Miley Cyrus all have Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. So that's like a big inspiration for me in music. But no, they gave me the shot. And since I had Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, it killed me. And I was like medically.
So now you're one of the undead.
It was wild though. Like, I don't know how long I was out. I was never told, because I never got any kind of brain damage or anything like that from it. But that I know of, I was out for a minute there, but it felt like a split second. But then I like the next day I was like, okay, no more drinking, no more, none of this stuff. And it actually like completely, well, saved my life, because who knows where I would have been after that. Like if I would have just continued that lifestyle, it's like, what would have happened? But
Do you think that sort of changed how you went about making music? That experience?
absolutely. Because I ended up becoming agoraphobic from the whole thing, and I like couldn't travel, I couldn't leave the house, I couldn't do anything. Like, I was just, anxiety was at an 11 all the time. And the only thing that could relax me was writing. And so I started writing back in 2010. I mean, I had written in high school and stuff like that. And before that, I was in like a band called Last American Cowboy, where we did like, basically we were like an Every Time I Die ripoff. But no, I started writing, and through
Most
writing,
people wouldn't describe themselves as a ripoff. That was very just blunt.
it was sort of like that Maylene and the Sons of Disaster, like Every Time I Die, Southern rock, metal, whatever, hardcore. It was just, they're all the same. So we just fit right in that. But no, it pushed me to move back out of my hometown, because I had to move back home to my parents' house back then, because like I was so sick. Doctors didn't at the time, had no idea what was going on with me. This was 2009, and they weren't thinking about like mental health issues either at the time. So like, because I was completely fine. I maybe had like 2 panic attacks before that my entire life. And then I was having them constantly, and like I was literally couch bound. But writing pulled me out of it. I moved out, bought a house, started traveling again, and I forced myself to do all this.
Sorry.
All good. But no, I forced myself, and then I was able to start touring the whole Midwest eventually. And now here I am, gonna try and do it again.
Well, I definitely think you've got a great attitude to do what it takes to get there. So I'm definitely gonna, keep my eyes and ears peeled for more of your stuff. Just send me some links that I can shoot down in the description.
Absolutely.
This has been fantastic. So is there anything else that you want people to know about before we say goodbye?
Go to lnk.to/take it all away. Check out my debut. It'll send you everywhere you want to be. And there's a lot in store and a lot of big things. Very excited. So watch out.
All right. This has been our 4th installment of Midweek Music Maelstrom. This is where we are giving a platform to all the smaller artists that are turning into big artists. This is where you need to be to find new music, fresh stuff to listen to, and we're definitely going to be your eyes and ears going forward. So tune in to Midweek Music Maelstrom. Make sure you don't miss our Small Business Sunday, where we give the same platform to small business owners and freelancers. And hit me up for an interview, and go check out Mantra, because they're what's happening right now. We'll see you next time.